I don't think anyone in the world knows that Meghan Markle has eaten Jack in the Box and loves it.
It's so funny, too, that you keep saying Meghan Markle. You know I'm Sussex now.
Everybody says she's a bully. She's very nasty. Not only is she incredibly controlling, but she's a bitch about it.
I am physically nauseated watching that clip.
For a long time, the public has been presented with a polished image that seemed almost impossible to question. Yet behind that carefully managed reputation, criticism has continued to grow louder. People from different corners have described Meghan Markle in harsh terms, with some claiming she's controlling, difficult to work with, and far different from the warm public image often shown on camera. These aren't just random rumors floating around online anymore. They're repeated allegations that have surrounded one of the most talked about women in the world for years. Beyond those claims of being demanding, many critics believe there's an even more unsettling side that only a handful of people have truly witnessed. You may think you already know Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, through polished interviews, glossy magazine features, carefully selected photos, and public appearances designed to tell a certain story. But what if that image began to crack? What if her recent, highly anticipated Netflix series, promoted as a gentle return to the spotlight, ended up doing the exact opposite? Instead of rebuilding her reputation, many viewers believe it exposed something far more uncomfortable than anyone expected, leaving even long-time followers wondering whether the carefully crafted narrative could still hold together. The series, proudly featuring Megyn, Duchess of Sussex, was supposed to mark a fresh beginning. It promised cozy kitchens, beautiful gardens, perfectly arranged meals, heartfelt family moments, and an effortless lifestyle that projected warmth, elegance, and authenticity.
That at the end of every episode, it says, like, the starring, Megyn, Duchess of Sussex.
Yes.
That's how she's billed. And this is how mornings are as I get the kids off to school. You're making fruit parfait crudité boards? Like,
oh my God.
boom.
She is so full of shit.
Every frame appeared designed to create a feeling of comfort and inspiration, but instead of winning people over, it sparked a wave of criticism so intense that even some of her usual supporters struggled to explain what had happened. Many found themselves surprised that such an expensive and carefully planned project could produce such an overwhelmingly negative reaction. The comeback that was expected to reset public opinion quickly became the center of a growing controversy. This wasn't simply criticism aimed at another celebrity television project. It became something much larger. To many viewers, it represented the steady unraveling of an image that had been built over many years. Rather than strengthening her connection with audiences, the show highlighted what critics described as a widening gap between presentation and reality. Some viewers openly admitted they felt uncomfortable watching it, while others mocked moments they believed felt forced or unnatural. What had been promoted as a heartfelt celebration of home, family life, and the modern woman instead turned into a wave of online jokes, sharp reviews, and relentless public discussion. For many observers, it quickly became one of Meghan Markle's most difficult public relations moments in recent memory, with each new reaction adding even more attention to the growing backlash. This wasn't just a small mistake that could easily be forgotten after a few news cycles. It reflected what many critics viewed as a serious misunderstanding of how audiences would respond. On the surface, with love, Megyn delivered everything associated with today's polished influencer lifestyle. There were beautifully wrapped gifts, carefully arranged snacks, soft cream-colored interiors.
Harry Sussex? I have no idea. And no, Megyn, no one knew that. Like, why are you correcting?
Which is, I'm going to show you how to make a happy, warm, loving home.
Elegant table settings, perfectly folded linens, and cinematic shots of the Duchess calmly slicing cucumbers, while every detail looked picture perfect. Every scene appeared carefully designed to communicate peace, sophistication, and effortless charm. But that's exactly where everything started becoming far more complicated, because that flawless presentation was only the surface the audience was invited to admire. Behind the gentle music, warm lighting, and carefully choreographed smiles, many viewers believed they were watching something so tightly controlled and obviously staged that it became impossible to ignore. Instead of feeling genuine, Every polished moment caused more people to question what was happening behind the scenes. Even supporters who had defended Meghan for years found themselves pausing, looking closer, and wondering if the production had become so carefully managed that it accidentally exposed the very image it was trying so hard to protect. What many viewers found most surprising wasn't simply that the show appeared polished. It was that they felt the polished presentation came at the expense of genuine authenticity. Rather than feeling intimate and unscripted, critics argued it resembled a carefully choreographed performance set inside a picture-perfect kitchen. To them, it looked less like everyday life and more like someone acting out an ideal lifestyle with cameras capturing every carefully planned angle. Many viewers simply weren't convinced by what they were seeing. Longtime critics pointed to the ongoing controversies surrounding Meghan Markle, including her strained relationships with members of both the royal family and parts of her own family, arguing that the series did little to address the concerns that have followed her public image for years.
Really, one of my favorite things is doing small, wonderful acts of charity and kindness for people to let them know I'm thinking of them.
Previously, on With Love, Megyn.
Oh my God!
Hi.
You look amazing!
Whether fair or not, many felt the disconnect between image and perception had only grown larger. You might think that's where the controversy reached its peak. It wasn't even close. The strongest criticism surrounding With Love, Meghan didn't come only from tabloid headlines or familiar online critics. Instead, some of the sharpest reactions came from people many expected would be more sympathetic. Comedians, television personalities, celebrities, entertainment commentators, and even fellow Netflix figures began openly discussing scenes from the series. Rather than offering praise, many used humor to point out what they believed were awkward, overly polished, or unrealistic moments. Their reactions spread rapidly across social media, drawing millions of views and creating a conversation that stretched far beyond the show's original audience. Those parodies didn't gain attention simply because they were funny. They resonated because many viewers believed they captured the same concerns already circulating online. One of the most widely shared examples came from Megyn Kelly, whose satirical take on the Duchess quickly spread across news clips, reaction videos, and social platforms. Her performance became one of several viral moments that fueled discussion about the series. For many observers, this wasn't just another celebrity joke. It reflected a broader shift in public conversation, where satire seemed to connect with audiences more effectively than the original production itself. That became a significant turning point. Instead of conversations focusing on the recipes, lifestyle tips, or family-centered message the series intended to highlight.
What's the title of her show? Love Meghan. For what to watch? Who wants to watch Meghan Markle bake a pie?
I don't think anybody at Netflix could have seen the show before it went out, because it's not entertainment.
Public attention increasingly centered on memes, parody sketches, reaction videos, and commentary channels. Many critics argued this showed audiences were becoming less willing to embrace highly curated celebrity storytelling without questioning it. Whether people agreed with every criticism or not, the growing number of satirical reactions suggested that carefully managed narratives were facing greater scrutiny than ever before, especially in today's social media landscape, where every scene can be replayed, analyzed, and debated within minutes. The numbers only added to that difficult picture. With Love, Megyn didn't merely receive mixed reviews, it struggled to win over many professional critics as well. The series earned a 28% score on Rotten Tomatoes, while The Guardian described it as gormless lifestyle filler. Meanwhile, The Telegraph awarded it 2 stars and characterized the production as insane, while also calling it an exercise in narcissism. Those reviews quickly became talking points across entertainment media, reinforcing the perception that the project had failed to achieve the warm reception many expected. Yet despite that wave of criticism, an unexpected development caught even more attention. Netflix announced that a second season was already moving forward. That decision immediately sparked another round of debate. Some commentators viewed it as evidence that the company still believed in the project, while others speculated that controversy itself had become part of the business strategy. Reports and industry speculation suggested executives were aware that reactions could be sharply divided, but believed the constant public discussion would keep the series in headlines regardless of whether the reviews were positive or negative. Although those claims remain speculative, they added another layer to the ongoing conversation surrounding the show's future. The biggest controversy, however, centered on what many viewers believed the series presented as ordinary everyday life. Rather than showcasing experiences audiences could easily relate to, critics argued that several scenes felt disconnected from reality. Guests enthusiastically praised simple dishes, everyday cooking techniques, or neatly repackaged grocery store snacks as though they were extraordinary creations. Instead of inspiring audiences, many viewers said those moments came across as overly staged and surprisingly out of touch. As those clips circulated online, frustration only continued to grow, with some audiences saying they weren't merely unimpressed. They genuinely felt the presentation underestimated their intelligence and left them feeling more offended than entertained. One of the most talked about scenes arrived when Mindy Kaling appeared, creating what many viewers felt was one of the few moments that seemed genuinely relaxed and unscripted. Her natural personality briefly shifted the atmosphere, giving audiences a glimpse of the casual interaction many had been hoping to see throughout the series. But that moment quickly became overshadowed. During a light-hearted conversation, Kaling casually mentioned Jack in the Box, prompting Meghan to respond, "You know I'm Sussex now." What may have been intended as playful immediately sparked widespread discussion online. Instead of coming across as charming, many critics described the exchange as awkward, overly conscious of image, and surprisingly uncomfortable to watch. Within hours, that short clip was circulating across social media, becoming one of the show's most replayed moments for all the wrong reasons. To many viewers, that brief interaction represented a larger problem running throughout the series. Even conversations that appeared spontaneous were criticized as feeling carefully rehearsed, with every sentence seemingly designed to reinforce a particular image or personal brand. Rather than allowing genuine chemistry to develop naturally, critics argued the production often gave the impression that every exchange had been polished long before the cameras started rolling. Whether or not that perception reflected reality, it became another talking point fueling the growing criticism surrounding the show. And the criticism didn't stop there. It continued to spread from voices that many people hadn't expected. Comedian Katherine Ryan, who had previously spoken positively about Meghan, later offered much harsher observations, describing the public image presented in the series as overly polished and lacking authenticity. Her comments attracted significant attention because they represented a noticeable shift in tone. She wasn't alone either. Netflix comedian Christina Pazsitzky also weighed in, while John Mulaney drew laughs by joking that Netflix had handed Meghan and Harry a blank check without a clear plan for what would follow. Whether audiences agreed with those opinions or not, those remarks became widely shared, reinforcing the growing perception that disappointment with the series extended well beyond traditional tabloid commentary. For many critics, the issue was never the lifestyle concept itself. Plenty of successful programs focus on cooking, entertaining, gardening, and home living. Instead, they argued the biggest problem was execution. The audience expected a sincere look into Meghan's everyday world, but according to many reactions, received something that felt highly curated from beginning to end. Beautiful neutral-coloured table settings, carefully folded linens, premium honey jars, and perfectly arranged decorations all contributed to an atmosphere that some viewers admired visually, but struggled to connect with emotionally. Rather than feeling welcoming, critics argued it highlighted a level of privilege that many audiences found difficult to relate to, leaving them feeling more distant than inspired. The discussion soon expanded beyond the television series itself and toward Meghan's broader lifestyle brand. Her decision to rename the label from American Riviera Orchard to As Ever created another wave of confusion, with many supporters wondering why such a significant change had been made after months of publicity. Instead of generating excitement, the rebranding prompted fresh debate across entertainment media and social platforms. Some commentators suggested the new direction lacked a clear identity, while others believed the transition appeared rushed as public expectations continued shifting. Another topic quickly gained traction as online commentators began comparing Meghan's promotional material with work associated with Pamela Anderson. Critics pointed to visual similarities in styling, production choices, and even certain lines of dialogue. One comparison that spread widely focused on Meghan's phrase, "I like to elevate the common," alongside Pamela's statement, "I want to take it to another level." While similarities between creative projects can occur for many reasons, side-by-side comparison videos quickly went viral, leading some viewers to question how much of the presentation truly felt original. Those discussions became less about a single sentence and more about broader questions surrounding creative direction and originality. Questions about originality continued appearing as internet users began identifying recipes, decorative ideas, and presentation styles they believed resembled material already available in magazines, blogs, Pinterest boards, and older online tutorials. One frequently discussed example involved Meghan's ladybug caprese bruschetta, which critics claimed closely resembled recipes previously featured elsewhere. Screenshots comparing different sources spread rapidly online, while others joked that the series seemed better at repackaging familiar ideas than introducing fresh ones. Even decorative centerpieces were compared to craft tutorials that had been circulating on YouTube for years. Whether every comparison was completely fair or not, the growing collection of side-by-side examples strengthened the perception among many viewers that originality was missing, making it an increasingly difficult look for someone hoping to establish herself as a modern lifestyle tastemaker. As more examples continued surfacing, critics argued that the repeated similarities only reinforced a growing concern about originality, revealing what they saw as a widening gap between the image being presented and the process behind creating it. Then something else caught people's attention. The loudest reaction wasn't what Meghan's critics were saying, it was what her own team wasn't saying. As with Love, Meghan arrived on Netflix. Reviewers didn't simply criticize the series. Many carefully broke down individual scenes, questioning what they believed were staged kitchen sets, stiff conversations with guests, and moments that appeared heavily scripted rather than naturally unfolding. The reaction quickly spread beyond traditional media. YouTube creators uploaded lengthy breakdowns, reaction videos, and live commentaries that accumulated millions of views. Some openly laughed at scenes they found awkward, while others expressed genuine disappointment. One reviewer even claimed the program made them feel physically uncomfortable to watch, while another described it as feeling more like an unintentional parody than a heartfelt lifestyle series. For a public figure once widely praised for openness and sincerity, those reactions marked a significant shift. Many critics argued that the warmth she hoped to project now felt overly polished, and the noticeable absence of a strong public response from her communications team only fueled speculation that they were struggling to contain the growing criticism. The controversy reached another level when Megyn Kelly discussed Meghan and Harry during her Sirius XM program. Kelly strongly criticized the couple, accusing them of seeking publicity through appearances connected to major tragedies, including visits involving wildfire victims and Uvalde. Those comments immediately generated widespread debate online. One particular image became the center of discussion after Meghan was photographed bending down to lift the lid of a donation bin during one appearance. Supporters viewed it as a simple moment of helping, while critics interpreted it very differently, and the disagreement quickly spread across social media. The discussion accelerated when Candace Owens referenced the moment in a widely shared TikTok video. Her remark, "Thanks Meghan for stooping down to help," was repeated across countless memes, reaction posts, and parody videos. Whether people agreed with the criticism or defended Meghan's intentions, the image became one of those internet moments that seemed impossible to escape. Many commentators observed that almost every public appearance involving the Sussexes was now being analysed frame by frame, with even small gestures generating enormous debate. It illustrated just how difficult it had become to shape public perception once a viral narrative took hold. Attention then shifted back toward Netflix itself, where reports and industry speculation suggested the company was disappointed with the overall reception. Commentators pointed to modest ratings, mixed reviews, and merchandise tie-ins, particularly Meghan's jam jars, that became the subject of jokes rather than excitement. Some reports even claimed a second season represented an attempt to make better use of already filmed material, though those claims remain unconfirmed. Regardless, the speculation only intensified public curiosity about the future of the partnership. At the same time, observers noticed signs that Meghan might be exploring yet another direction, with growing speculation surrounding a stronger focus on fashion and personal style. To many commentators, the move appeared logical. If lifestyle television had failed to connect with audiences as hoped, fashion offered a different path, one that relied less on revealing personal life and more on image, design, and presentation. Whether that proved successful remains to be seen, but the timing has certainly fueled conversation. And through all of it, one thing has become increasingly clear. This isn't just about a failed show. What many critics believe has emerged is a larger pattern surrounding Meghan Markle's public image, one they see as increasingly difficult to reconcile. She has tried to balance being a relatable mother, a humanitarian, and a lifestyle influencer. But many commentators argue those different roles have left audiences questioning which version feels most authentic. With every new project, interview, or product launch, that debate has only intensified. Even some supporters have asked, who is the real Meghan? The humanitarian or the self-styled influencer presenting carefully staged moments in designer heels? Rather than ending the conversation, each new appearance seems to deepen the divide between loyal supporters and critics calling for greater authenticity. Many commentators argue the fairy tale narrative that once surrounded Meghan no longer has the same impact. Instead, every reinvention brings another wave of headlines, parody videos, memes, and online discussions. Her lifestyle projects, logo redesign, and branding decisions have all faced heavy public scrutiny, adding to the perception that every new venture arrives with even greater expectations. As with Love, Meghan Season 2 remains in post-production. Attention has already shifted to what comes next. Meghan Markle's next move could play a major role in shaping how audiences view her going forward. In today's entertainment industry, many believe authenticity has become just as important as staying in the spotlight. That leaves one final question. Can a carefully managed public image still connect with audiences in an era where every appearance is instantly analysed? Or are viewers looking for something more genuine? What do you think? Share your opinion in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next upload. Thanks for watching.